It is day 6 of a desperate search for a 7-month-old baby boy named Emmanuel Haro. And the details that we've just learned about the baby's father and his criminal past, absolutely hair-raising. The number of children that have been moved out of the Haro home into the custody of others is nothing short of alarming. Let me take you back for a moment. Baby Emmanuel was reported missing last Thursday. His mother, Rebecca Haro, claimed that a stranger approached her from behind, said, "Hola," and then knocked her unconscious. She says when she woke up, baby Emmanuel was gone, right there in the parking lot, gone. But according to investigators, Rebecca's story didn't add up all the way. Rebecca refused a lie detector test, and both she and her husband have stopped cooperating with the police, the authorities say. To be clear, there have been no charges filed against Jake or Rebecca Haro. And Jake's attorney insisted right here on this show last night that his client, Jake Haro, is cooperating, despite that statement from the police suggesting otherwise. Tonight it is Jake's past, however, that is becoming a lot more worrisome. Yesterday, we learned about his felony child cruelty conviction, the one that put him in jail for 6 months back in 2023. Both Jake and his ex-wife, Vanessa Avila, pleaded guilty to the charges, and tonight we have learned that crime was committed against his own 10-week-old baby girl, a child who survived but suffered horrendous lifelong injuries. We've got photos of the child. And I should tell you that the family has given us permission to show those photos, likely as a warning about Jake Haro. But I do want to tell you this. When we show you those photos, they are quite disturbing. So fair warning in advance. Here is the little girl in her hospital bed, 10 weeks old. She is recovering here from several fractures to her ribs, to her skull, and to her legs. She is also recovering from a brain hemorrhage. This little girl was eventually removed from the Haro home, and she was adopted by one of Vanessa's cousins. That cousin has cared for this little girl and even renamed her. Her new name is Promise Faith. According to the cousin, Promise is now 7 years old. But take a look at this picture. The damage that she suffered from those injuries was permanent. Promise was left blind. Promise was left unable to walk. Promise was left unable to talk and unable to swallow due to strangulation. We are told from this cousin that Promise has 3% brain function, that Promise needs a feeding tube, and that Promise will need round-the-clock care for the rest of her life. So let's just contemplate this as you see these pictures. Jake Haro, who beat this child, received 6 months in jail and probation afterwards. The same cousin who adopted this little girl, Promise, also took in Jake's oldest son, who she says was born with fetal alcohol syndrome. That child was named after his father, Jake, but the cousin also renamed the little boy. His new name is Carlos. And now this same cousin who has taken in 2 of Jake Haro's children, one that Jake Haro beat into a lifelong condition, another that was born with fetal alcohol syndrome. Now this cousin is caring for a 3rd child removed from the Haro home just this week. A 2-year-old child was taken out of Jake and Rebecca's care. I'm joined now by true crime digital creator Abby Escobar, who spoke directly with this cousin who has been caring for these children. Abby uncovered these incredible details. First and foremost, I don't even know what the word is, apoplectic, devastated, angry, all of the above, that these 3 kids have had to be moved out of the Haro home, and yet the Haros still had children living there. Let's just start right there, Abby. Child cruelty, a prison sentence, and this little child was left with lifelong incapacities. How is it that they still had kids?
don't get it. It is such a huge injustice. I mean, they practically killed that child, and here they are just living their lives like nothing even happened. How is that fair?
Well, and it's shocking to think that there were 2 other kids at least,
Yeah.
and I don't know if there are more, but Jake Haro Jr., renamed Carlos, and now this 2-year-old baby, not pictured on your screen. This is baby Promise, who's now 7, but another baby that's 2 years old that has been moved into the cousin's care, and of course, baby Emmanuel. How is it that the authorities allowed children to live in this home? Are we getting any answers?
Yeah, you would think that any children they had would have immediately been taken by CPS just because of the history. But no, they were allowed to remarry, have more children, and nothing happened. I mean, this little girl actually.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, this little girl has to fight every day just to stay alive. And they're out like nothing. It's just
and I'll
not
tell
fair.
you, it's hard to tell from some of the pictures we're showing. It's hard to tell, but Promise, again, who's now about 7, has some of the same facial features as her little brother, Emmanuel.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people have wondered, was Emmanuel beaten the same way that Promise was beaten so as to have rendered him with those same facial features? Do you know anything about that?
So I don't, but I've been talking about this on my TikTok and my Facebook, and there have been a lot of comments saying things like that. People noticing the similarities. It really has to make you wonder.
Well, all of it is just sort of unbelievable that these kids still lived in the home after this little child, Promise, was rendered in this condition from the beating she received from her father, according to the cousin. Let's talk about the cousin, Vanessa Avila's cousin. And let's remember, Rebecca Haro is the woman who is claiming that her baby Emmanuel was taken from her when she was hit over the head. Her husband, Jake, was married to another woman, a woman named Vanessa Avila. She also pleaded guilty to the beating of baby Promise. Why is it that this cousin feels it's so important to get this story out and to get those pictures out?
Well, I think that she feels that justice wasn't served the first time, which, I mean, it obviously wasn't, but she hasn't told me directly, but she has made comments to the point of, if justice would have been served the first time, then this wouldn't have happened to more children. So she's personally affected by this cousin.
Does this cousin of Vanessa Avila believe the story that the Haros are telling on TV in this clip right here, where she says, I was hit in the head, I woke up, the baby was gone, please help me find the baby? The cousin doesn't believe it. What has she told you?
Absolutely not. Excuse me. She said that when she first heard the news story, it just broke her to pieces. She immediately had a feeling, as I feel most people have. I mean, the story just doesn't really make very much sense.
Yeah, the police have said it doesn't make sense. They put out a statement that her stories don't add up and that they believe foul play is possible. They've taken cadaver dogs to the Haro home. There are reports that there were some kind of digging activity at the Haro home as well. In the meantime, just knowing now about this history, about these 3 other children now living in Vanessa Avila's cousin's care, how are those children now? How is this cousin, and I understand she wants to remain nameless, she's also putting out a plea to everyone, please stop. Don't come to my children's school. Reporters showed up at her children's school. I mean, how are they managing through all of this?
The kids, they're wonderful. The cousin has provided these kids with such an amazing life. She and her husband, they love them. They take wonderful care of them. The children are happy and they're well.
I mean, Promise has to have round-the-clock care and a feeding tube. She's unable to feed because of the strangulation, reportedly. It's just, That is an enormous amount of work that they are putting into the care of this poor child. I just don't understand how it only yielded 6 months and also yielded a father who was allowed to come out and still have 3 children in his home. That's the part I don't understand. Are there any other details that this cousin shared?
Well, she said that they were told that they didn't think she would even live a week after this happened, but they have done everything they can for this little girl to keep her going. You know, she's got the tracheostomy tube. She has to be suctioned frequently so she doesn't choke on her own mucus. The feeding tube. She can't walk. She can't talk. She's blind. It's just horrible. But I mean, she said that Promise is her miracle baby, and really she is. It's amazing that she survived that. 10 weeks old.
It is, but just tragic that she was, you know, condemned to a life like this because of the acts of her father.
Absolutely.
If all of the cousins reporting,
he gets to
is
remarry.
accurate.
Yeah. And then he gets to remarry and have more kids, and there's no intervention, there's no concern. And now a 7-month-old baby is gone. I just feel like more should have been done.
Well, and here we have this, you know, this report at 10 weeks old. I mean, at 10 weeks old, a newborn is so helpless and so tiny can do so little to upset us, except, you know, create just the utmost joy to know that anyone was capable of creating that much damage to a 10-week-old. I dare say I am very concerned about baby Emmanuel and what might have happened to baby Emmanuel, but it's starting to look more and more suspicious, these pleas for help to find baby Emmanuel. Abby, thank you for your reporting. Break in to the show if you learn more throughout the... I know this is all very much developing and you're learning as you go, but just break in and bring any new reporting that you get throughout the program. Thank you for this.
I sure will. Yeah, thank you.
Also want to let our viewers know that if you want to follow Abby, she goes by the handle Abby Blabby on her socials. She's been doing some pretty remarkable reporting on this story and other stories as well. So check out Abby Blabby, Abby Escobar joining us.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.